you freaking arm. Oh, gosh.
That was the first. Those were the first words that went out on the stream, by the way.
What were?
F you, you old freaking arm.
Oh. Oh, man. All right, let's go, boys.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Buttery. Joe's up late with us, digging it. Buttery, I don't know if you're up late, up early. I don't know. What time is it in Japan?
It's lunchtime. You just said it. Pay attention. Yeah.
Jesus. What? Why are you even... My kid. All right. All right.
What has you singing the A-Team song?
Because we are the A-Team. You know, child, I do not need your help getting a bad reputation on the internet. I do that perfectly fine by myself.
True.
Yeah. I doubt they've seen the Twitter wars you've created.
I'm just getting bullied on Twitter now from a certain down under Aussie who has nothing better to do.
I saw that. That was kind of rude.
A little bit. Okay. You tell me when you're ready, Tom. Play some music, whatever you want to do. Get the people listening, bobbing, bouncing.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP the Ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go.
God, it just bugs me the way that just ends.
I'm working on that. I'm working on it.
I know. Take the feedback off, though. Hello to all my kids, local and afar, and all the ones that I haven't claimed. Hello. Okay. Ready to get this going?
I love that your children make up like a measurable percentage of our viewership now.
Zencaster, before we start.
Yeah, I'll do it when I start. We all ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Get rid of whatever's in your mouth.
That's my little pot. I'm actually doing a little pot mint today. A little pot mint. I need something to don't quite honestly tolerate you guys. This is a little cannabis infused lavender mint.
Seriously, not even homeless yet, and he's turning to drugs.
That's it, man. Okay, ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right, we're doing it.
I just kept hearing it rattle around in your mouth.
We'll get used to it, buddy. You're listening to episode 263 of the award-winning, critically acclaimed PHPUgly. My mom gave me a certificate last week as the best podcast, so award-winning, technically correct. Coming to you live from blockchain.coinbase.dogen.com studios. I'm your host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me are my friends, John Congdon.
Dear listeners, I don't know what he's talking about either.
And also, Tom right up.
I was just waiting for him to accidentally say something offensive.
$700
It's never
million
accidental.
over $700 million. Just like that. That's all it costs to purchase a legacy. Did you guys hear about this? Crypto.com Arena, formerly Staples.com, the home of the LA Lakers, the LA Kings. I mean, this is like no small thing. Crypto.com purchased the name so that the stadium is now named Crypto.com Arena. That's what it's called. It's no longer Staples.com, which was also a business. Remember when stadiums like were named like something significant, like the people who created it? Yeah.
Jack Murphy Stadium.
Crypto.com, over $700 million just to put the name on it.
Well, that was when they bought it, but they bought it with crypto, so now it's only $550 million.
They didn't buy it. They didn't buy the stadium. They just paid
about the name. Yeah, the name's only worth about $550 million now. I'm not sure if you've kept an eye on the market, but bad day today and yesterday.
Oh, really?
No, I just don't look at it. I don't care. I've made my money in crypto like fourfold, and so I'm just letting the rest ride.
You put $5 in, got 20 out, you're good to go.
Yeah, that's right.
Put $5 in, bought a pizza with Bitcoin, got out quick.
Gentlemen, how's your day? How's your week? Tom, you got a new car?
Yes, I did.
I thought that was a softball.
That was, I wished it were. It is back in the shop tonight for the second time.
What? You haven't even had it a week. What the hell?
Yeah. It's, well, I think total time that we've had it in our possession has been a day and a half so far. It's not good.
Note to self, don't go car shopping with Tom.
Again, had you gone to Harmax, they have a warranty that you get out the gate where they take care of everything.
Well,
and if
I
it's
mean,
lemon, they take it back.
You
won't take your boys' advice. You always got to do your little thing, you never take your boys. Now look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Not feeling great about it though. It stopped running in the middle of the road. And
that's usually not a good thing.
Yeah, and
did you charge it?
But then he kept it.
Well, no, that was the crankshaft position sensor. When I brought it into them, read the ODB code, they replaced that. Got about 4 miles away from the dealership, and it stopped in the middle of the road again. And
they're like, we cleared the sensor; it should be good.
No, I know what it is.
We cleared the code.
It's the catalytic converter this time. And my wife doesn't want the car anymore.
I don't blame her.
And Colorado does not have a lemon law. So
really, I thought that was a federal thing.
Yeah, federal for brand new cars.
Oh, gotcha.
But on a used car, you are shit out of luck. Except in the case of intentionally deceptive sales, which this might fall under that case.
How's that?
Well, if it fails within 50 miles of significant engine trouble, it's very possible that they didn't do the 115-point test that they say they did.
Did you tell them you're a podcaster? That might put some fear in them.
It hasn't come up yet.
Hey, buddy, I'm a podcaster.
Interestingly, the first thing, the crankshaft position sensor, they took full ownership of that, replaced it, didn't charge us anything for it, which may end up being a huge mistake on their part, because that implies an obligation to fix any issues with the car at the point that it was at, which turns out catalytic converter, well, that's $2,000. They're going to have to cover that. But my wife pulled up all the reviews on the internet, and everyone says they're crooks and horrible, and you know how reviews are for basic things is no one who's happy leaves a review. Everyone who's upset leaves a very long review. So it's a mess. I'm a little bit stressed out. Started drinking before the podcast.
I didn't mean to bring that up. I thought this was going to be one of these, easy things, but
no, it's we've made 0 payments. We don't owe money on it until the 25th.
You kind of do when you sign the contract. That's not when you owe money.
Well, yeah.
You understand how that works.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just a bad situation all around, and you know how it is when wives cry. You just sort of go, I love you. I'm sorry.
You don't. My wife doesn't cry. I don't.
Well, yeah, she is significantly tougher than you are.
Well, she's living the dream.
Being married to you?
Yeah,
that's right.
What he means is that she got all the crying done long ago. It's just out of the system.
She figured out real early that doesn't help.
Yeah, so that situation's a mess. And then did our sprint planning on Tuesday without realizing that I only had 4 actual days of work for this sprint because I'm going to be on vacation. So I have quite a bit of story points to get done tomorrow.
Oh, that was me today. I got news
for
you. Oh yeah, I'm not even joking. I have a client. The client I work on understands my position. He understands I'm running a company, that what their company is, that we just purchased a magazine. He's a very understanding client, and typically he just queues up things. He says, when you get to some time, work on these things for me. I'm like, okay, and I charge him the hours I work on them. If I don't work on anything, I don't charge him anything. So these last couple of weeks, I've just had no time. Last week was just, it seemed like the magazine chewed up a lot of our time. And I've been keeping him informed. I'm like, hey, sorry, I only gave you 3 or 4 hours this week. I'll try to get some more to you. And in all honesty, I was putting days aside to work on stuff for him, and then something would come up. So talking to him yesterday, and he said, what's the status of this? I'm like, well, I really haven't gotten around to it. But my day's cleared today. I'm only planning on working on this. He goes, okay, well, kind of needed it done like yesterday. I'm like,
last
week. That would have been good information to have sooner. So I'm sitting there and I dive into it. I'm pounding it out. And, we have a pretty good sense of each other. So he doesn't typically write very specific tickets for me. And, they're kind of very general. And I can usually grep what it is he needs and, pretty much do it for him. I totally missed the target with this one. And this morning we're talking, and I send him a message. I'm like, hey, in your ticket, you said you wanted a category with a link, but you wanted the link to have a title. But wouldn't the title be the category? He goes, well, no, all the links need titles. I'm like, wait, you want multiple links to a category, don't you? He goes, yeah. I'm like, well, got to do some refactoring there, don't I?
That would have been good information to have.
Oh,
That's a
I just
simple refactor.
Cranked out some code today, man. And then I'm
spun some wheels a little bit.
Spinning my wheels for like 30 minutes.
Oh, that must be nice. I can't spin my wheels.
Freaking Laravel was like, oh yeah,
catalytic converter. Yeah.
This route doesn't exist. This route doesn't exist. So I pulled John in. Like, hey, you got some time? Actually, John volunteered. And sure enough, I'm walking him through everything, basically rubber ducking it. And I realized that it's not even my code that's breaking it. It's the stupid little breadcrumb that goes across the top that has the route. The route was actually not even wrong. It just had a space at the end of it. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, so I saw the space. I started laughing. I'm like, oh, this is a good one.
Yeah. That's how John helps me. He just starts laughing at my code. I'm like, you motherfucker, what?
Well, see, every time I try to help Eric, I say go up to line 10. No, what is that? 4. Now you moved up, so now it's 9. The line numbers thing, I don't get it. I don't.
I can't help it if you're not good at coding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you. I'm not going to apologize for being good and you not being good. I'll apologize for not apologizing, but it's very simple. They're relative numbers. You see the number 9, you say go up 9 spaces. 9
yeah,
lines.
but they
That's
change. You scroll every time we're on screen. Every time John has also complained about this. And every time you scroll, you go further away from where I wanted you to be.
Dumb my tool chain down for you, Tom. You need
to
elevate yourself to my level. Get up here with me. I'm already courteous enough to go to like VS Code or PHP Storm, depending on who I'm asking for help. So be appreciative that I do that.
I am.
Oh, God.
I think you were right. All right, replying to Joe Ferguson in Discord. If you're not part of our Discord, join us. Discord.phpUgly.
PHPUgly.com. And if you're a Patreon supporter,
doesn't work when
you actually get a special Discord
talk
channel.
Each other.
Yeah, so why don't you just, zip it, buddy.
We got some Patreon. We got some Patreon rewards sent out today or this week, didn't we?
What?
I thought John had some envelopes ready to go.
Yeah, that will sit around his office for about 3-4 weeks. What are you talking about? John, did I miss a message? Did you get things sent out?
I told you I was getting them sent out. I had the packages ready.
Yeah?
So, how was your week? No, they are gone. I actually went into the post office to make sure I had enough postage on every single one of them. They're out.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Now we got to update the list. We got new Patreons. We got a new one this week. So we're gonna have to sit out. We're gonna have to up our game a little bit. Should we talk about things? No, we're not gonna talk about things, are we?
What?
Oh, always gonna talk about things.
Oh no, it's up to things? John.
Now I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to talk about. That was very weird. My only thing is my week, I've been dealing with companies that I don't understand how they stay in business. It drives me absolutely nuts. I was reaching out to HubSpot for support. Sitting there talking to live support about an issue I was having, and the person goes, I got to be honest with you. I work in sales. Let me look into this for you. Comes back, found information from their community support site. I go and look at it, reply to them saying, yeah, that has nothing to do with what I said. Like, not even remotely close to what I was talking about. And they said that I should reach out to the customer area, whatever they call that, community center, where it's other people in the community chatting. I needed to reach out there.
So, like,
I'm gonna
just like
and I'm
go post on our bulletin board.
Yeah, and I'm gonna close this chat out now. Thank you. And then closes the chat. I'm like, what? Wait, we pay you. Why you can't do that? And the same issue with the people that print the magazine for us. I reach out to them for help, and they won't. You can't call anybody. Everything's through email, and then it's just everything gets lost by email, or people don't respond for 2 weeks, and you're like, "Hello, can I get an update?" And then you find out, oh well, we're sending an email to the wrong email address. How do businesses stay in business? I just don't get it.
Well, at first I thought you were talking about Rivian.
Huh? What is that?
So the electric car company, it's now the biggest car. It's the biggest company in the U.S. that has no revenue. Electric car manufacturer blew up this week on the stock market, but doesn't make any money. I'm amazed at how far a company can go without making a profit.
Oh, you'd be surprised. We can go a few years. Wait, what are we talking about?
I don't know how we do it, but we do it.
I'm just so depressed.
You gotta stop paying people, man.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's how we save money.
What are you depressed about? I want to talk about PHP stuff. So let's get through the boohoo stuff fairly quickly, okay? Is that insensitive? I feel like that was insensitive. You should probably talk.
You guys do know that I got a Pixel. I got the Pixel 6.
I saw you talking about that, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
no. He was getting the truck and the Pixel 6. He says it in our Slack channel.
The truck?
Or car, or whatever you got.
Car, yes.
The vehicle. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Yeah, got a Pixel 6, and I'm really surprised you guys did not talk about this at length when you got one, because I am baffled by Google's decisions on so much of this phone.
The only problem I have is the fingerprint sensor.
I have experienced a little bit of that.
The lack of the back button is really driving me crazy.
You can turn it back on, but it's just wrong. It's just swipe from the side.
It's swipe from the side sometimes, but if you're in an app and you've gone through that app, that just swipes you back through the app. Is what I've been experiencing.
Yeah, you're talking about the home button. The home button is swipe from the bottom.
Yeah.
Anyways, I hijacked that. What is your issue? What are your issues?
Well, that's
like I said,
the starter. So
move on.
I had my first Android phone. Well, my first smartphone was an iPhone. But when I moved out of their ecosystem, I started with an Android phone, and it had 3 physical buttons on the bottom for back, home, and open processes.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna stop you short right there. If you're going to proclaim that there's any better Android experience or Android phone out there than the Pixel, you better be willing to back it up and quickly, because we're not going to spend 30 minutes talking about this.
We'll get into that.
You better hurry.
My next phone, physical button was only the home button. The other 2 were virtual buttons. The phone after that, every button on it was a virtual button, but it had like a little haptic feedback on the bottom. And then I got this phone, and those buttons are gone completely.
Yep.
And it's
how does no buttons anymore? Guess what?
How does
not just Android? A lot of modern phones doing that.
Sure, but not the Apple. The Apple stuff stays the same.
I don't think so.
It's not a complete redesign of the interaction of the phone.
That's literally what they do all the time. What are you talking about? When's the last time you've lived in the Apple ecosystem?
Sure. in a while, but I've used an Apple phone and known how to use it.
Yeah, but you can turn those buttons back on through the settings.
So if you turn them back on, the back button and the open programs button are swapped from what they were on my previous phone, and there's no option to swap them back. And if you
What
open
were
up
they on your previous phone?
it was the left side was the open programs, the right side was the back button.
Nope.
Well, that's
that was
dumb.
never
That's what all the Samsung.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Every
Well, that's
Samsung phone.
because Samsung's a terrible implementation
Anyway.
of Android's phone.
Yeah, sure, but don't have the
So
option of
you
swapping
weren't
that.
using a
And then
Pixel
you go
before,
into the
but
gesture.
that was always the Pixel layout.
You go
So
into the
you're
gesture
complaining about
controls.
something you don't even know. Okay, can we move on?
In the gesture controls, you can't turn off one of the sides for the back button. So since I'm a righty, I would like to use the left side of the screen only for the back button. But I have to have both sides enabled for the back button. You can't just turn one side off. Now, I will say the Google Assistant is amazing. Have you guys been using it at all?
Mm-hmm.
Nope, I never use it.
Like phone screening or like spam call screening? Like where I got a call and instead of my phone ringing, the Google Assistant answered and said, hey, this looks like a spam call. Can you please tell us what it is that you're trying to contact this person for? And I got a text message on the screen that said, a car extended warranty, and I could just hang up without having to answer the phone.
No, yeah, but the problem is the Google Assistant misunderstood it. They were trying to tell you that you should get your car checked. They found some parts left over from the last time you brought it in.
Yeah, should have seen that coming.
Yeah, that's an old feature. As a matter of fact, I have it. I don't even pay attention to it anymore. It just does it for me. I don't even think of it.
It auto screen, like you can set it to screen a call if you're busy. It's like when you receive a call from somebody, you can say, like, "Hey, tell them I'm busy right now. Ask if it's an emergency." And like you can do a text conversation with the person who's calling you. It's very cool. A lot of like app authentication stuff, two-factor stuff is now completely automated. It's like normally you'd have to copy the message that you got texted into the app that you were trying to open. But now it's looking for a code being sent to your SMS. And if you have an app open, it just pastes that code into the app that's open. Like it's nice little tweaks, nice little features.
Well, lots of phones do that.
Well, mine didn't. I had an S9 Plus, which is pretty modern. My wife has an S10, which is pretty modern.
But they're up to like S21 now.
Yeah, because they jumped like 3 versions because their batteries exploded. So they were like trying to distance themselves from that whole, you're not allowed on airplanes with this model.
That was a long time ago.
Sure. Still got to distance yourself from it.
So listen, there are a lot of things you can say about our show. We're not very good at it. We don't talk about enough PHP stuff. All very true statements. The one thing that is also a true statement, and the one thing you can say, is that we have got, hands down, across the board, the best intro music of any podcast out there. Well, it's not an intro. If you're an audio listener, I'm sorry. It's the outro music. We've got the best custom music by our man, Harry Mack.
True.
Now, I didn't realize how good of a job Harry Mack did rapping about a PHP podcast until
when he knows nothing about PHP to begin with.
Nothing at all. The guy just spit it and it just came together.
Straight fire.
Until John said, "Hey, did you know there's an official PHP song?" I'm like,
well, I didn't say official, but go ahead.
I'm pretty sure you did, John. I don't know why you want to try to call me out now. I'll just make it look bad, but whatever. Anyways, John said there was a PHP song. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to tell you how we happened to come across it, but he turns me on to this video. Not only not only was it cringy as hell, but it was cringy as hell in 4K, and I actually watched the extended version director's cut of the song. And I'm going to drop it for our Discord people today.
We had discussed using this as our theme song when we first started.
What are
like
you
this
talking
is
about?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are
This
you
has been
talking
on the
about?
podcast.
No, this has not.
The
been
video
on
was
podcast.
the YouTube video was released earlier this year.
January of last year. Yeah.
January
The
last year.
4K cut.
No, the original.
No, the original. I have never seen this video ever, or heard this song ever in my life, and I had appreciated that so much the moment I started listening to it. This was hard to listen to.
But there were some
good.
hilarious parts in it, though.
It was very funny. I applaud the people who put it together, because it takes guts to put yourself out there like that, and they tried, and there was clearly some language barriers as well, and they muscled through it. It was just bad. I want to like it. I want to support them on it, but just just reach out to somebody and get some feedback. It's rough, but it's in Discord for anybody who is hanging out with us live.
It'll be in the show
check
notes
out
too.
Discord. You can stop listening to us. Trust me, we are not going to be as good as the experience you're about to just embrace with the PHP song. To do that, that's probably wasn't a good idea doing that at the like middle of the show. I should have saved that to the end. Now we'll never get this because it's like a 6 or 7 minute long song.
Yeah.
So we're not going to see those listeners for a while. I missed you guys, John, Joe, Frank. No, you guys are listening anymore.
We'll make a note to come back to you in 7 minutes.
Elio's gone. He's gonna just start a fan page for them. Oh gosh, they're all gone.
Well, there's a lot going on in PHP this week. Very heated conversations. I'm not sure. Have you guys followed externals at all this week?
I'm hoping you can explain to me. Actually, I think John has some feedback on this as well. The impact of the deprecation of dynamic principles.
Properties.
Oh, I'm sorry. Properties. Yep. Dynamic properties. The deprecation. So it's only a deprecation, not a removal, just a deprecation of dynamic properties.
Now, I believe that this deprecation slates the removal for 8.4.
Oh, it's that far off, huh?
That's not that far off.
Yeah,
oh, no, sorry, for 8.3. I believe the deprecation is for next year's release. And
yeah,
then
but
the
it's
removal,
deprecation. Yeah.
Yeah, the removal is after that.
9.
No, I believe it was 8.3 that the removal is coming in.
No, 8.3 is deprecation.
No, deprecation.
8.2 is the deprecation. And I believe 8.3 was the removal.
Oh, now you got me questioning that because that doesn't sound right.
Can you explain to me, like
right now,
a child, what this is and what the impact is? And
so, like I normally do.
Well, but I'm hoping you consolidate it to like within this show.
Want to hear it?
Some point.
Here it goes.
So right now, if you're in class and you reference a property of that class, this name or this person, or if you're using a class, so you say user equals new user, and then you say user name equals Tom, PHP will allow that. PHP will just set the property in the class or in the object. So that's considered bad because there's no public private, there's no type hinting on it. It's just like you can randomly assign stuff into an object even if the object is protected. If the object's final, I don't believe you can. But if the object isn't final, then you could just throw a billion properties into it randomly.
That's not so much a problem in the sense that from outside, adding properties to it, as long as the internal parts of the object aren't using it, not that big of a deal.
Right.
It's
but there are
still
plenty of
not
objects
safe.
out there that have dynamic getters and setters that will return these values and set these values, and you don't want them to do this. So the proposal here is to throw a deprecation warning whenever you do this now, and then remove this ability in the future. And in the community, it's generally seen as like a whoops, we shouldn't have let that happen in the first place, but we were too busy with other stuff and didn't catch it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a big backwards compatibility break for a lot of people.
It's going to be huge for the code base I work in.
Which is weird.
It's almost
very weird.
Why is it weird? What part? What do you mean it's weird?
It's bad. It was bad practice to set dynamic properties like that in the first place.
Right, but the fact is, it happens and has been done.
Yeah. So the community is all aflutter about when this should be done, or if this should be done at all, if this deprecation should occur. And a lot of the arguments against this deprecation are like, hey, we're not hurting anybody. It's not a security issue. It's just bad programming, and it makes the language easier for people to use and understand. And it's like, yes, shut up. That is not true. This is bad programming, and making things easier is not the goal. Making things better is the goal. Right. And so many people are still stuck in this idea of like PHP is the easy language to use. And that's why all of these articles about how PHP is dying or bad still persist, is that so many people in the community still consider it to be the easy language or the beginner language. And that sucks, because it's not. It's a very dynamic, capable, strong language that gets stronger with every release. And people who are like on the voting committee, who are like, I want my son to learn this instead of Scratch, need to shut up and like get out of the committee, because that's not what PHP is for.
We need to pause for a second. Welcome everyone back that's been listening to the video.
Has it been 6 minutes already?
Yeah. So
welcome back.
In the video, it talks about how fast PHP is. So yes, we're on the right track. PHP is fast and a great language. You can continue.
It will last. It's fast and will last.
But this argument that like it's going to make things too difficult for new developers is such horse shit. Like, the language that developers first learn when they go to school is Java. So going to PHP from Java, no matter how you cut it, is a million times easier.
I think that's the point that they're trying to make, is that PHP was the language that people without computer science degrees could pick up, learn, and get productive with. And I think that's what they're worried about losing. And I kind of understand their point, but at the same time,
of the three of us, who has a computer science degree? No, you don't.
Me. Yes, I do.
Yes, he does. He's got a pilot's license too, so piss off.
Not just computer science, excuse me. Aviation computer science. Let's be clear.
Yeah, buddy. Which means, he had to jump out of a plane while coding. You try that. But listen, let me finish talking.
All right, go.
I kind of get their point, but at the same time, the internet has grown and PHP has to grow, and I mean there's some validity to the statement of making PHP approachable to non-computer science people. And I appreciate that there are people trying to enforce that. So if they have a valid argument, I think it's worth hearing out. But at the same time, PHP has gotten so much better, and the reason it's still relevant is because it keeps maturing.
Yeah. I feel like if you forked 5.4 and called it like PHP Classic, you could get rid of all of these assholes all at once and just say like, yeah, we're doing support for 5.4 forever. No new features, just security fixes and support.
Yeah, they had that. It was called WordPress. What's up?
Yeah. I mean, that's the joke that
I guess WordPress
this
doesn't
is.
have a problem with this, right? Because I mean, it wouldn't even be something we'd be discussing if the WordPress community stepped in and said, "Hey, no, wait a minute."
WordPress had to get on the bus because when WordPress had their auto update issue that every WordPress site basically hacked itself a year or two ago, then the PHP community in general told them like, shut up and update. And WordPress has been in the process of updating to the latest versions of PHP. But WordPress isn't even like the easy PHP user language. But WordPress is such its own domain-specific language that PHP doesn't matter as part of it. Like whether or not it's simple. And this idea that bad practice makes for easier programming is like, what a bunch of horse shit. Bad practice doesn't make easier programming. It makes worse programming in the long run.
Like, oh, really? Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's true. But let me ask you something, Tom. What other languages do you code in, and why?
JavaScript.
I don't count JavaScript as a language. Come on, that's get real. You talk about
HTML.
So you don't do Rust. You don't do Is there a reason for that?
I don't have an application.
Maybe it was too difficult. Too much of a learning curve.
No.
Did you step into that? No.
Rust and Go were very easy to learn.
No. Okay, just saying.
One of the things that interests me about Rust is that it compiles to WebAssembly, which is like in our near future. But no, the reason I don't use them is because I am a PHP developer by trade. I'm given PHP projects to work on. I'm not given Rust projects to work on.
But don't you think that helps keep you sharp with PHP? I'm
Sure.
always picking up other languages just to understand how they do things compared to how PHP does things. It gives me a better understanding of the decisions that are made within PHP. Now, I'm not efficient with any of them, but I'm not efficient with PHP. Spoiler alert!
I put extra spaces in my code somewhere, and it causes me problems.
Yeah, there's
I can joke about it. You can't. Shut up.
There's absolutely reasons to use other languages, but there's no reason to make PHP bad.
I didn't say there was reason to use them, reason to learn them, but you shouldn't be using PHP. Is the only one you should be using. And you should be reading PHP Architect magazine to make sure you're using it well and efficiently and continue learning from great contributors. Like Joe Ferguson in our Discord channel, discord.phpugly.com.
Michael Durden, I thought you were saying PHP 5 is greater than PHP 7 is greater than PHP 8.
Don't acknowledge Dorinda. He's a bully on the internet, and we don't acknowledge bullies on the internet, Mr. Dorinda.
Well, here's my other part of this issue is that this is just a deprecation. You have 2 years to fix something that there are a number of automated tools that can fix for you. Like a large number of static analysis tools that will automatically fix this.
Your IDE has little squigglies under there anyway. They got to be annoying, so you should be fixing it as.
And we have a very easy way of catching deprecation notices.
How in the world could you do that?
Honeybadger transforms you into a DevOps hero by combining error, uptime, and cron monitoring into a single, easy-to-use platform. Stop wasting your time tailing logs and deploy with Swagger. Visit honeybadger.io today to level up.
Thank you, Honeybadger.
Honeybadger.
That
was a very half-assed thank you from John. Thank you.
I was reading. Sorry. I'm not allowed to say Michael Dorinda's name, so I can't acknowledge what he just said.
You just said it.
There are free tools from Laravel Shift that will fix this exact issue for you before 8.2 is even released. And even though it's a backwards compatible break, you can make the change forward compatibly.
It's not backwards
right now.
compatible. It's not a backwards compatible break on 8.2. Let's be clear.
No, it's a break on 9. So I pulled up the exact version stuff here, and it's a break on 9.
And it's just in the RFC. That's nothing set in stone. It's recommendations.
Well, actually, no,
on the
that RFC is set in stone. That's why people are fighting it.
Oh, did it
Is
pass?
that if well, so this is a classic 2/3 issue, I believe. And right now it's 46 yes, 20 no. So I think it's a weird thing for there to be so much fighting about, and it brought out some really weird crazies on Reddit. A lot of
I don't even go there. Go ahead.
I have to. A couple Reddit threads got created about missing the old days of 5.1 and the MySQL. Like, I'm serious. Like, pages of
I totally.
What have you done? Like, what have you done to my dear PHP? All you maniacs who keep making it better, and it is crazy.
There's always going to be that. We really shouldn't give that a lot of time. I mean, people. There are always going to be people who don't want change. And I mean, there are going to be people who are going to complain about the fact that like Laravel releases every week because they don't want new things in their code every week. It's just, that just, I get that. Like,
well, I read a post
who made a blog 20, 30 years ago, and now he realizes that his code won't run anymore.
I read a post where a guy went at length over how ORM and auto-loading and dependency injection are ruining PHP. And it's like, how crazy do you have to be? To step back 10 years, I mean, I know how crazy. I've mentioned Fox Pro in the past, but still, like, to hold on to 15-year-old programming styles, like essentially functional programming, ditching object-oriented completely.
It's crazy. Like, it's like saying C is still relevant. Wait a minute.
But there's so much complaint over magic methods, which, like, there's good and bad, but magic methods make everything work. Magic methods bring the whole system together. There's no frameworks right now that don't use it.
I cannot track you at all. 30 seconds ago, you're complaining about people arguing about dynamic properties, and now you want to defend magic methods? Why are you here?
I defend them as a feature of the language that's excellent in frameworks, but shouldn't be in local code. Like,
I want to be your friend, Tom. I want to be your friend. I want to support you. I want to have your back. But you really make it challenging.
Why is it okay for frameworks but not okay for local code?
Because frameworks enable concise coding on the user side. And magic methods are a good way of obfuscating or of achieving functionality that can be done, like macroing and auto discovery of things about models, stuff like that. And there's just not a lot of userland code that should be doing that kind of stuff. The userland code,
my code needs a lot of magic.
I don't doubt that. But in my opinion, userland code doesn't need a lot of magic stuff. It needs to be very solid. But framework code needs to be flexible, needs to be easy to understand. And I mean, that's why Laravel has taken off the way it did, is it has a lot of magic taking over for mundane and crappy stuff, especially Eloquent. Eloquent does a lot of magic stuff that, if you accept it, works quite well. But, I mean, that's just one element. The idea that we shouldn't be using ORMs, I mean, that's That's weird. And I'm just saying that that's been the big controversy right now in PHP land. I've got a lot of controversy this week. I think all my tickets are controversy.
Really?
Okay,
I didn't like you.
What other controversy do you have?
Well, I didn't know this, but Streamlabs OBS and OBS are not related in any way as entities.
Why would you?
Are they?
Oh, because OBS, the letters OBS.
Right.
Are they doing the same thing?
Yeah,
they are.
It's the
thing.
same software. They just tweak it a little bit.
Well, the big thing came out this week that Streamlabs, owned by Logitech, has been contacting a lot of different companies to check out how their software works, and then implementing their own version of it as an exact copy in their software. And that Streamlabs OBS uses the open source code for OBS, but is not participating in the contribution to the OBS project in the way that you would expect them to. Streamlabs was asked not to use the word or the term OBS in their project. They ignored it. There's software called Combo, which Streamlabs had reached out to this open source group and asked them a whole bunch of questions about it, and then implemented their own version as a complete copy. So all of a sudden this week, there's 4 or 5 projects or companies coming out that are basically saying, yeah, Streamlabs stole our software or our design just completely.
Oh, I saw one of those, but it's, I don't know. You're talking about the web pages, right? The web page.
No, it was.
The one I saw were web pages, and it's like they're just like the same basic like marketing web pages that everybody uses. I mean, yeah, they look alike, but so do half the freaking marketing pages on the internet.
It wasn't just pages. It was their layout for their studio, the layout for a bunch of their tools for scene creation. It was a lot of different stuff. Now, Streamlabs has tweeted out, we're taking immediate action to remove the name OBS from Streamlabs, because that's the really big legal issue. The fact that they used the same name after asking and being told not to.
They're also saying that the text on the landing page was placeholder and was a mistake. This is our fault when we removed the text.
Yeah, for a number of years. It's... Let's see, the Lightstream project, which they had taken and copied, all of the copy was taken directly from another source. So Lightstream is another project which OBS had, or Streamlabs had reached out to, and then just copied the entire text of the site and recreated it as their version of Lightstream. Like really scummy corporate crap. Such a bummer. But I thought Streamlabs and OBS were like associated in some way. I thought Streamlabs was the paid version of the OBS studio, and that they were related.
But in the end, they're not.
No, they're not related at all. Streamlabs is just selling OBS.
True.
And then there's the Russia controversy.
What Russia controversy?
They shot down a satellite, testing their new anti-satellite weapon. And like,
well, how else were they going to know it worked unless they knocked?
Well, so it turns out the satellite that they picked threw all of its debris right in the path of the International Space Station, and everyone's very mad at them. Fucking Russia. No, nothing.
Don't know
Eric,
anything
where'd you
about it.
go?
I haven't heard about it. Hey, have you seen that there's a new PHP Foundation?
I saw this. I don't know much about it though.
I don't know a whole lot about it. I just saw like it popped up on Open Collective, and it seems like there's a couple people trying to get something going there.
Well, that's good.
There's been some discussions going on around it, and I gotta admit I'm in support of a foundation. I think other languages have something very similar.
Well, aren't you like, you're technically in support of them because you are 2 of the 3 top financial contributors.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
There's that little piece, yeah.
You gotta. I don't know. I think it's at the end will be a good thing if we can. There was an article earlier this year talking about the bus factor, and we've been talking. I think we even mentioned a foundation around that time needing something like that. And if one's going to get started and can support the community, more power to it.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the person who wrote that bus factor piece is one of the admins of the foundation, and I don't think that's by chance.
What is this bus factor stuff?
We talked about it a while back. Yeah,
so
Joe
hit by a bus.
Yeah, it's the fact that there's only a few people in core that really know. Nikita Popov being one of them, obviously, where if something happened, what would happen to PHP in general? So if you had the foundation to support and help bring up more people into PHP core, maintaining, contributing, adding features, the better. Having more people increase your bus factor or lower your bus factor. Which way do you go on that? Lower the bus factor. I think you lower your bus factor.
I think actually the bus fare gets cheaper, so more people get on the bus. Maybe that's what it is.
So how do you deal with that at Diego Dev? How do you keep people from being the only expert in their own projects?
That's a good question.
Look into that. Yeah. No. So it's a little different, right? I mean, we're not running a major volunteer open source project that powers most of the internet. Our team is a little smaller than that, but so we've been trying. The one thing we've been doing is called playbooks, right? Whenever somebody has knowledge on something, we encourage people to create playbooks of the implementation of something, or how things are deployed, or how tests are ran. So
we're trying to spread the knowledge to everybody, not make it a one-person show.
Yeah, we typically try to make sure that there's at least 2 people that understand any one aspect of a client.
But it's still hard because we have so many small projects too, where you really can't have multiple people. And Eric does a fantastic job of management in general and keeping an eye on all the projects. And then I get into a couple of the, I don't want to say like offshoot ones, like dealing with dialers or PBX machines. I already have experience in that. So we have one developer that has kind of gone off and does some of that work, but I jump in and help out when necessary.
Yeah. I mean, the hard part is that we don't have entry-level developers. We have like very talented developers and not who do things well beyond development. And a lot of times, like they will start working on a piece of a client's project and not even realizing that how much knowledge that they contain on this one project. And we do have weak spots, actually, to be completely open with you. Our mobile development hinders a lot on like one person that we've tried in the past to offset that a lot. And I think we're in a pretty good position where, like, if we needed to get rid of the person next week, we could probably do it because of some of the solutions we went with from a mobile perspective.
Don't worry, you're not in any danger. You don't have to worry.
Dave,
don't take this clip.
You should worry. You should worry a lot. Don't buy any large, expensive items anytime soon, Dave.
Like a car.
Or Barry.
Don't go. Don't. You might want to continue your commercial acting career.
Oh God, we got release manager talking Discord. What's happening? Yeah, they're doing it for the PHP release manager. What I hear, I don't know. I don't really follow that closely. Don't care enough about it but yeah. I guess they do that for the PHP release manager.
So
whatever.
The reason I bring this up is because I sort of ran into an issue where a decision had been made in the code a long time ago, and there was no one who would stand up as the authoritative source of, is this how we're doing it?
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to refactor things to sort of be a little more clearer. We were storing some data objects on the business record that really belonged to the user. But in our original build, we only had one user or one owner per business. So you could reference the business object as having those same values. But as things got built up, it got confusing as to what the authoritative source of this information was, and no one really knew if it was okay to remove this data from the business object. Yeah. And I could talk to the other team, and they're like, well, yeah, I implemented it, but it was because that was the way I implemented it, not because of some sort of grand reasoning. And then I could talk to the other senior developers, and they're like, well, what's this going to break if we start doing this? Or are people used to using it? And so it was hard to sort of have somebody who was the authority on how we're going to do this thing, how we're going to store these types of values. And that got into that lended itself into the area of well, who's the authority on anything in the system? It's usually the person who implemented it the first time. And then they take the tickets that relate to that system from then on, and other people never get the experience of being in it or knowing what it is. So our bus factor, one person could take out a whole chunk of knowledge that's just completely dependent on them.
So I want to bring something up before I lose it. Charlton in Discord said the difficulty of naming things is always followed by the difficulty of where to put it. Yeah. So we've been talking about CodePilot a lot for the past couple of weekends, for the past couple of weeks. Yeah. And I'm still using it, right? I still use it.
I use it a ton.
It's funny, the things I'm learning. And today, as a matter of fact, when I was doing my coding blitz, I found another thing that I don't know if it irritated me or what, but I'm doing it suggests a block of code for the stuff I'm doing it, and it named variables better than what I named them. I'm like, oh shit, that's such a better name than what I named it. I gotta go now change that migration because that definitely should have been called that.
I have gone back several times in my code and been like, well, I guess I'm refactoring the controller because the request object is named much better.
For me, it's always the columns in the database. Yep, I should have named that column that because Copilot, you are way better at that than I am.
Oh yeah, no, and because you'll tell it what you want to do first. So you'll write a comment that says, get the VIN number from the vehicle, and it pops back a little thing that's just like vehicle VIN, and then you're like, oh, why did I call it business address? That's a terrible example.
So you're still doing Copilot through the commenting piece?
Not as much lately, not as much this week. I'm still using Copilot a ton for testing.
But are you doing it through comments or just letting it almost like IntelliSense?
Well, because of how PHP unit testing works, you have to give it a very descriptive method name anyways. So it's almost as if you commented it. It can read your method names if you camel case them and stuff. So like it's just as good as a comment. And test whether or not the page 404s when you send a bad value in the username field. And like bam, it writes the whole test for you. Like no problem. Although usually it names the route something much better than what I named the route in the first place. So I have to rename the routes now. But
do you put spaces in your routes?
No, I try not to.
Sorry.
But what it does very poorly is brand new objects. If I'm implementing a brand new API service and I'm extending a custom request object that I've built, it's very bad at understanding the purpose and structure of the custom request object, and usually just tries to circumvent it completely. So right now I have these custom requests that just have the URL, the method, the rules, and the values. And everything else is handled by the service, which just says run this request. And Copilot absolutely cannot understand that at all. And it has trouble with closing brackets a lot of times.
Oh, that's the biggest issue it has, or the closing brackets. Yeah.
I think it
John
just doesn't understand
Discord,
PHP well enough.
John in Discord, to answer your question, yeah, it does help with database schemas, but because of the nature of a database schema, at least with my experience, it's been very basic. Like if you'll type string, it might suggest well, when I say migrations, though, when
you're thinking migrations.
Schemas, I'm thinking migrations, yeah. So it with like migrations, it kind of helps. Like it kind of figures out like what needs to be unique, what that sort of thing. But it's not really great with that.
I've found that it works really well with Laravel migrations. Laravel migrations are something that haven't changed very much in GitHub in forever. So when I'm writing a new table, it pretty well understands what I'm going for. It tries to figure some stuff out. So if I name it an envelope object, or if I say I'm creating a new user address table, it will probably guess that I need address 1, address 2, zip code, area code, phone, and all that stuff. It actually guesses quite a bit of something that you're doing that's generic. It's just that when you're doing something new or that you think is new, it's more difficult. And in my experience, it's been nice to be able to think I'm doing things the right way, but make sure to read what Copilot is saying, because it's probably been done by somebody else better than the way I'm trying to implement it. So I should probably read what Copilot's telling me to do. And that includes database schemas. But again, it's just a paragraph at a time.
We learned something else today, and I'm seeing this because Joe Ferguson in Discord says, "Be right back, starting up Copilot for password management." It's not that. But for a long time, John and I have had this back and forth around password managers. I'm a LastPass guy. And I'm perfectly happy with LastPass. John prefers 1Password, which I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty comfortable using 1Password now as well. But
I'm a stubborn old man that won't change his ways.
But 1Password, we discovered had a new feature in it today, and we just discovered it today. So John and I used to do something, and it's a pretty common tactic, that when you're filling out, obviously you know what Password Manager does, right? You don't know what your passwords are, or you don't need to know what your passwords are. It comes up these very complex passwords for you. That's great. But sometimes, like bank accounts and stuff, they have these challenge questions, right? So what we would do is we would pick these challenge questions, and then we'd generate passwords for them and put those in. And I've had problems in the past when I've tried to do this, where it says, hey, that's not a name. I need a name or something. Like, it's like your best friend from elementary school's name. And it'll see like numbers in it. It's like, nope, this can't contain numbers. It can't contain symbols. So it's always annoying. But you work your way around it, whatever. 1Password actually generates answers to those challenge questions now. Like it has it has about a dozen common challenge questions in there, and it'll generate these like just random things, but they're like names, but they're like names that don't make sense. And obviously names that you wouldn't know.
Well, you could do that with the password version too. Instead of using a random password, you could change it to words, and that's what I normally do, is the random word generator and throw them in there.
Trying to give this guy a bone, telling him how good his thing is, but no, he just go ahead, John. Tell me why you do it better.
I'm not saying how I do it is better. It's doing the same thing. I just don't understand. It was cool. It's neat, but why that versus how we were doing it anyway? Other than making it obvious that you can use this for that, but because you can add any additional data, any field you want, you can say what type of data goes in there. You can paste any question you want. Say this is a password. Change it to words. And
so you go in there and you modify your password algorithm every time you do that?
It's just in the selector. So when I say generate password, it's just I want words versus random. Yeah.
I never did that. I have mine set to like 25 characters and just let it ride.
Yeah.
Oh, I love when I've got it set to like 16 characters and the website's like, that's too many characters.
I know. Especially banks.
Why do you care?
I hate when it's restricted. Yeah.
Or like too complicated of a password. Come on.
One of the things that's common with payroll systems is, do you recognize this icon that you chose when you first set up your account?
I haven't seen one of those in a very long time.
Well, do you know why that came into play in the first place?
I have no idea.
So it got federally mandated that banks and payroll companies had to implement two-factor authentication. And someone was like, hey, if they choose an icon and when they log in, it's the same icon, that counts as two-factor authentication. So it was literally the cheapest way they could circumvent the law, like they could meet compliance with the law. And there are still plenty of banks and payroll companies out there that use it.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah, the whole defeating the 2FA purpose by keeping this information in your password manager. I get it.
Yeah. I still do it, but I get it.
Yeah. If somebody gets access to my password manager, I have other problems anyway. And for our business, having the two-factor part of 1Password where we can share that information is critical. I mean, it's a pain in the ass if you go to a site where all they do is email you the code. It's like, Eric, they're emailing you a code. What is it so I can log in?
Yep. And not all sites allow you to create teams where everybody can have their own login.
But then there's
if they do, it's way too expensive.
Have you guys used Okta? Where it's like everything that you do, you have to 2FA.
I can't support them because somebody that works there banned me on Twitter.
Makes sense.
So we can't talk about them.
That's not how banning works.
It's the only time I've been banned on Twitter, and I'm still kind of bitter about this. And this was like 2 years ago.
Okay, so it was about being vegan.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
How do you spell Okta? I'm not finding it.
Okay.
TA.
Okay.
It's one of those. It's a service that as an employer, you can auto provision a bunch of services, if I recall.
Well, and correctly. you can also manage users very microscopically. So, like if you want to ban certain groups of people from the VPN, or like if you need to remove a user's access from basically everything, you can do that from one interface, and it really removes them from everything.
Right. There's a name for it. There's other companies doing it too. It's not just Okta. There's some sort of
user management or identity platform.
Yeah, but there's like a protocol or something behind it that you have to implement to be able to partake in it.
Sarah went super dark on you.
Yeah, no, she always does. It's disturbing. If you don't follow Sarah Goldman's Twitter, definitely do that because it is hilarious.
You don't know Sarah too well, do you? She is banned on Twitter, like literally banned on Twitter.
Oh, well, that would explain the recent lack of posts.
You don't follow my Twitter.
You absolutely have to follow Sarah Goldman on Twitter. And she's posted the greatest stuff on Twitter. I never miss one of her posts. She hasn't.
It could take a couple hours, but look for it. It's there.
I love the delay too, because it's like just hitting the stream. Oh man.
Well, she's on Mastodon, which is a dead project, so that's unfortunate.
I think we need to wrap this up. I feel like we've gone long.
Oh boy.
All right. Is that it? We have Patreons thing. We have a new Patreon on Patreon.
I saw that.
And I don't know I don't want to mispronounce the name, but I figured it out earlier. I'm waiting for it to come up because I
Reginald.
don't remember. Is that really how you say that?
No.
Oh. Let's see. It was something. Come
Ulrich.
on. Where are you at?
Ulrich.
Yeah. Ulrich.
As in Lars.
Yeah. So Ulrich also has the honor of being our first patron to support us on Patreon with the Dutch or Danish currency. So Patreon just started.
DKK?
Yeah, I thought it was DDK. I think it's DDK.
Is it?
Patreon just started supporting this whatever they call money over there.
The kroner.
They just started supporting it, and we got a Patreon supporter using it. I thought that was very cool. I can't tell if they're like, it's just weird.
Oh boy.
Okay, so thank you. Thank you, Ulrich. And all of our supporters on Patreon. You are appreciated, and you are getting swag, apparently. And the new people, you'll get your stuff eventually. You got to be patient. Everybody served their time, so you'll get it.
I forget what our what we say on Patreon.
I think we said 3 months. Basically, we try to cover postage. So, like, I think it's like the swag level is like $5, and really all you're supposed to get are stickers. And we end up sending like a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever we have.
If you can put up with not having your stickers for 2 years, we also send a keychain.
Yeah, you called it a keychain. You didn't call it a lanyard. I'm actually very proud of you. I wanted to correct you. I'm like, no, you're right. All right.
See, I knew you would. That's why I have my keychain. I have my keychain right here.
There you go.
But there's no keys on it, so you can't really call it a keychain.
Well, I don't
Not
have
really
keys for my
chain
car right now because it's in the fucking shop.
I like how you brought it back circle to end the show.
Oh yeah, full circle.
Bring it all the way back around. All right, I think that's it. Episode 263. Somebody should stop us.
We're doing it now.
Thanks for listening. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
I'm Tom.
Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric,
I was looking at the cost of all these repairs.
I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever
And I was like,
song.
hey,
Yo, shout
thankfully
to
I have a
host
lot
named
of
Thomas,
money
'cause
in
he's never
crypto
wrong.
right
Yo, shout
now.
to John. You know
And then
they
I
be
looked at my
smart
crypto
and
and I was
quiet.
like, fuck.
Unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all.
Oh, that was funny.
So I've got iMovie. I need to do that edit. Man,
Can we stop sharing? Por favor.
I was hoping you guys would have some ideas for what to do about this stupid fucking car thing.
Yeah,
Go CarMax. CarMax, not a sponsor. You should be.
And you know, in all honesty, not to rub salt in the wound, this is probably the absolute worst time to buy a used car. Like, this is one of the few times in life that it probably makes more sense to buy a new car if you can get a new car that you want.
I know.
Why?
Yeah.
Because all the
Because-
prices are fucked up.
The prices are through the roof. Used parts are like parts are getting very expensive. So
Hey, it's easy to find a
yeah.
catalytic converter, though.
Yeah, I have one of our clients had his kid got in a car accident. He's okay, and it wasn't his fault. Totaled his car, and the blue book on his car was more than he paid for it. It was and it was significantly more. It was like $10,000 more than what he paid for it like 3 years ago.
That happened to me when I wrecked my motorcycle back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I actually bought it brand new, totaled it, and basically got enough money to pay it off. And then because of the laws in Florida, I no longer had to have insurance on it. So I was able to drop the insurance.
Well, of course not. You totaled it. Why would you need to have insurance?
No, because I was able to get it replaced. Oh, no, I didn't total it. I did enough damage for them to cover it,
Salvaged it,
and pay off the bike, and then was able to drop the insurance. And
really?
And I was a young kid, so I was stupid and dropped the insurance.
Well,
only in Florida, man.
I got into that wreck like 2 weeks after I bought the thing.
Here's the thing, is that my story gets worse, but I'm embarrassed.
Oh. We're streaming, so it's whatever you want to share with the family, buddy.
So we got the Carfax.
Oh, don't tell me this is bad news.
We got the Carfax right before we were signing the financial documents.
Well,
the Carfax reads clean, everything's great. And if you don't pay really close attention, the thing that stands out as weird doesn't stand out. It was a two owner car. The second owner had it for 12 days.
Okay. Unusual, but
unusual.
I don't think that would raise too many red flags with me.
And it didn't. But then we found out when I was going through the paperwork in the car, the manual, the user manual, it says Canadian edition. It's a Canadian car. It's not an American built, American purpose manufactured car. It was Canadian purpose manufactured. Okay, that's weird. And then my wife's talking to her friend, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I bought a truck from them. And when the engine went out, it was still under warranty. So I tried to claim the warranty, and they said, "Oh, that's a U.S. warranty. This is a Canadian truck. It does not have the same warranty." And then I pull up the reviews, and it's such a fucking mess. I thought the maple syrup smell was new car smell. like a creative flex from the company.
Instead of a pine tree, you just had one of those Canada maple
jug of maple syrup poured on the dashboard.
Oh, Tom.
Well, and now my wife wants out of the car.
Oh, it's completely your fault. This is going to be a pain point in your marriage for years to come. You need to buckle up for that one, buddy. Say that as a friend.
Thanks.
$263. How have we not been banned by the FCC yet? FDA, FCC, FBI. One of the Fs should be shutting us down. This is crazy talk.
So I'm calling my loan company tomorrow and telling them that we're going to dispute the loan.
That's gonna get you nowhere.
I know.
Good luck with that.
I'm gonna call the dealer and tell him hey, your website has some very suspicious security holes in it.
There was no return policy. I think I hate to keep doing this, but I think CarMax you have 30 days.
No, that's just a California thing. That's the California lemon law.
No, I'm pretty sure that's CarMax across the world. Even in Puerto Rico, it has that. Other countries too.
Carvana has 7 days. I can't imagine CarMax has more than Carvana.
I believe it, baby. It
does. John's asking what's the TLDR is I bought a car and it's been in the shop twice now. The first time it lost all power and threw an engine code for the crank position sensor. Got it back, made it 4 miles, and the catalytic converter blew out. Lost all power, smell of sulfur, rough idle. I've had it for a day and a half total. Bought it a week ago.
Wow, that's so painful to hear.
$30,000.
Just like that.
Well, turn around and sell it for 32.
Oh, I'd love to,
There's
but
no
now it's
upside.
got 3 owners. And it's had significant amount of work done on it.
It's only had work if you disclose it.
God, don't ever do business with John Congdon. No, wait. No, do business with John Congdon. He's got a couple good companies.
Yeah, I really I'm chemically, emotionally neutered, so it's not bothering me as much as it's bothering my wife. But it's still a shit
Such a
situation.
weird statement to make.
Well, yeah, until you've started taking Paxil, and then you understand completely.
I don't know what Paxil is.
John, he said lemon laws don't apply in Colorado for some reason.
No, so the federal
Doesn't
lemon
make sense to
law,
us either.
federal lemon law is new cars only, and Colorado has a bit of a new car lemon law on its own, but used cars do not have a lemon law.
You just keep talking. I'm just editing the podcast.
I'm just trying to figure out what Video Ninja's doing. Yeah, it's a nasty situation, and we're leaving for San Diego on Monday.
Oh,
It's
yeah. Are
so
we
the
still
cars-
down to meet up next week?
Hell yeah! So the car is going to be in the shop for the whole week till we get back. New cars are the ones that actually do need lemon laws because the warranty is supposed to cover things. Lemon laws are about unnecessary warranted repair. So if you haven't read the federal lemon law, it's not about returning a badly functioning car. It's about excessive repair under warranty. So that like you don't have the car as much as you were supposed to have it because there's something inherently wrong with the vehicle. And the idea is to discourage poor manufacturing because people can get their money back on a new car if it needs to be repaired too often. California lemon law for used cars is different. California lemon law is like, hey, yeah, if the car is a piece of shit and they didn't disclose that to you, then you get your money back. But it's very hard to write something like a lemon law because you're defending consumers who are also sellers. As a person selling, like privately selling a used car, you can get really screwed over by lemon laws. The lime law is that the lime goes in the coconut. That's it. It's the whole law.
Gotta shake it all about. John's got limes. He's got limes for days.
Oh, that's true. It's funny because it's true.
It's so weird to just have no options, though. To just be so screwed over. I mean, we got.
Tom, what did I do with your honey badger commercial?
I don't know. What'd you do with it?
I don't know. I know you read one.
Yeah.
I don't know where I put yours at. I gotta find it. What just happened?
Did you delete all the files?
Nope. I don't know what he did. I have to figure it out. I will figure it out.
How fancy? How fancy should I go with OBS when I do the redesign?
I think simplicity. I think we need to dial it back. What do you think? I'm open for conversation, but I really think we need to dial it back.
That sucks because the first thing I was looking at was a fully animated background that was constantly running.
So I tried to do that when I was running OBS, and it just killed my system. We had all sorts of problems. Yeah, I tried to do that for us. I mean, you're more than welcome to give another shot, but I don't know. I'm thinking simplicity. I'm thinking thin lines for frames, like all this.
Oh yeah,
all of our
for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. But and just I don't know. Just do a Fiverr. Just have somebody else put it together. We don't need you don't need to put it all together. We've got Patreons now. Patreons. So.
Let me ask you an ethical question. Let's say I do end up getting completely screwed over on this car. Using entirely legal means, how bad is it to just screw the company's name over on SEO?
If it's legal means, I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know if I want to know what you're thinking, but
just a domain that compiles a list of complaints and ranks higher than their company's domain.
I mean, I think that's reasonable. If they're legit, if they're legit complaints that you're compiling legally, I don't see what the problem would be.
You're one of everybody else that complains when they're upset and doesn't say anything when they're happy.
Yeah. Oh no, we already left a comment that we were happy with the salesperson.
Well, you did that too soon.
Yes.
I mean, the end of days, I don't know what you'd get out of doing something like that, but can't stop you.
Well, we could just tell them, yeah, I'll take it down, take the car back.
Well, that turns into extortion. That's a different story there.
I'll tell them I'll sell the domain.
That's a
for
little
$30,000
extortiony. Extortiony there. That's all. Wait. Oh, is that how much you paid for the car? Is that why you said $30,000?
Yeah.
Next time, I suggest taking your friend's advice. I don't know. I don't want to keep telling you I told you so, but it feels so good when I do it.
I know. It's your specialty. It's when you pass on, I will have a drink named in your honor called the I Told You So.
There you go. Fortunately for you, I am an immortal being and will never pass on.
It will be a straight whiskey with one ice cube.
It makes my ice cube tingle.
Just the one.
Inside joke.
It's kind of outside.
True.
All right.
I'm gonna go take my kid.
That was a weird way to end it, that phrase, but okay.
Are your cameras failing you? All right, everybody. Thank you very much for watching.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yes.